Hey guys, what's up and welcome to a new Tesla update video. Today, let's go over the market, see what happened, what's in store for the rest of the week, and as usual, all that good stuff. So if you guys enjoyed the video, find it useful, helpful, informative, whatever, don't forget to hit that like button, guys. It does help quite a bit. But let's just jump straight into it. Tesla ended the day up actually 3.6%, putting us at $302.61. Not too shabby. So let's go over to Tesla over here. So pretty much what I predicted yesterday happened, right? I said how, if there's a spot to bounce, it is definitely, without question, going to be this current area that we are in. And yeah, that's exactly what happened. We, filled the gap that we had in the morning. I believe there was a bit of a gap up, but nonetheless, there's no gaps left over, which is great. Pretty much came up to where I said, did go a little bit higher than I expected. Of course, we went to 305, but we closed at pretty close to what I predicted. Being pretty much, I said, within this box. I was surprised if it went this high, but it did. Sometimes it'd be like that. But we got the gist of the move, like 90% of the move correct, which is great. We've been nailing a lot of the moves lately. I've been pretty much ever since this move, we've been nailing almost every single move here, which is fantastic. Always feels good to do that. But I want to make it very clear, guys. First and foremost, none of this is financial advice. I want all of you guys to make sure you understand that at the end of the day, make your own, you have to do your own research, make your own decisions, most importantly, and that, you have to accept the fact that there are going to be times where I will be wrong. Of course, that is absolutely going to happen, where I will be either somewhat wrong or even completely wrong. That is going to happen. So make sure that when you're entering any trades, you're doing it off of your own accord, understanding what you're doing, so that if something goes wrong, you know how to, fix it, if you will, or get out or whatever, right? You know what to do. And make sure you're not just like blindly following me or anyone else. It's very, very important. Nonetheless, Tesla. So overall, a pretty good day, right? So I actually do think, so there's some good news and some bad news. Ultimately, I think it's more good than bad for now. For tomorrow, actually, more specifically. For tomorrow, maybe Friday, but more specifically for tomorrow, I do expect more upside. However, the one bad thing is the fact that we'll get the bad stuff out of the way first, is the fact that we obviously did get rejected at this general level. This pretty much heavy area of supply. We ended still within this area of, potential ultimate supply. Couldn't really push past it and close past it, which isn't great. However, the fact that we did close above 300 and at the upper part of this supply zone isn't too bad, right? Overall, a fairly I wouldn't say it's like a super bullish candle, but it's definitely not bearish, right? It's a pretty decent looking candle, slightly more bullish than bearish for sure, which to me tells me that, there's an okay chance, again, a pretty, I would say in favor of still having a little bit more upside. Again, most likely potentially to somewhere close to 312, give or take, pretty much potentially setting up a triple or even a quad top, which would be pretty bearish, however, if that does happen. So that's kind of what I want to see, or what I'm expecting at the very moment. So taking a very quick look at the major indicators, 21 EMA above that, no problems whatsoever. Bollinger Band bounced off the white line from yesterday and we ran up beautifully today. Still kind of in this kind of limbo zone over here, or this area, but you want to see it push above this area. Let's go to the 30-minute actually, right? So ultimately, I wouldn't be surprised if we do push higher. You can view this as a potential bull flag, right? You can be something like this. And it looks like we kind of broke out as the day kind of started closing out. Very, you can argue that for sure. And now we're setting up for a potential leg higher. So one of two things will happen, in my opinion. Well, there could be more, but the things that at least I'm expecting is either one, we just go straight up, or we go a little bit down first and then we go straight up, right? One of those two things is what I'm personally expecting to happen, and potentially come over to this 312 area where I don't think we'll pass. I mean, we can, obviously, it's very possible. I just don't think we will. But in order to really truly unlock this 312 area, to really determine, or not determine, but to really like solidify that even more so of it happening, what you want to see is at least a 15-minute candle closure above, like at 306, let's just say that 306 or higher. You want to see at least a 15-minute candle closure to really truly start unlocking the potential for this. I think it'll happen. That's just a prediction, but to kind of confirm it, I think that is what you want to be seeing. On top of that, the market itself, so that's kind of what Tesla, there's not really much else to talk about for Tesla, in all honesty, other than what I just said. Again, I do also want to make it clear that after this, I still expect an ultimate drop. I still think we are going to go much lower. However, moving over to the 200 moving average, we did get rejected by it, but now we closed above it. So it's just a lot of chop, a lot of traps or bears and bulls alike. This is a battlefield for both, and I think both are getting slaughtered here, honestly. Which is why I'm being very cautious. This is why I always tell you guys, like, I'm just being extra cautious. The puts that I sold yesterday, I did exit today at around 299, and the reason is because I personally didn't think we would push past 300. Or it's not that I didn't think; it's more of just I don't want to take the chance. I don't want to take the risk. So I exited my puts that I sold yesterday, the bullish position, at around 299ish, give or take like a point. I forgot exactly. It might have been 298. For about like a 70% gain or something like that, which is not bad, right? 65%, 70%, something along the lines of that, which, you know, I ain't complaining about too much. But ultimately, you know, this is something that, you know, the bulls got slaughtered here. The bears are probably getting some slaughter here. And now we're in kind of a limbo land where, honestly, I think the bulls and the bears are both a little bit confused here. I do think ultimately the bears will prevail. However, that doesn't mean that there's still not more upside for the bulls to maybe, you know, even further trap the bulls as well, though. However, so it's just, it's a very like choppy zone that we're in. It's a very peculiar area we are at for the market. So that's essentially for Tesla, right? On top of that, you can also see that the RSI is not looking too bad. You know, it's not looking atrocious. It's kind of following the overall pattern. I mean, it is arguably setting a bearish divergence because this technically went higher, but it technically RSI in the 15-minute did go lower. So I guess you can argue that it is setting up a bullish divergence. And in all honesty, this even looks like a bit of a bear flag. If you want to argue it as well, you can technically, you know, draw a bear flag, something like this. You know, that is an argument that you can also make. Which is why ultimately I do expect a lot more downside to come, maybe Friday, but probably next week in all honesty. But that doesn't mean that we can't still potentially go up one more level. This could be just, like I said earlier, a potential bear flag, something like that, right? So, you know, we'll see what happens with that. But one thing that kind of solidifies my reasoning behind a potential move up tomorrow is because the market looks like it wants to move up tomorrow, right? So overall, you know, a pretty green day in the market, but it was like up and down. Like if you were following it at all, there were some points where it looked like it was just about to blast off to, you know, to 400. At some points it looked like it was just all done and over. That's it. It's, you know, time to absolutely collapse. You know, it was just all over the place, right? And this is why I say that this, in my opinion, was an area for bears and bulls to both get slaughtered simultaneously, which is why I have to be really careful in this kind of market. Now, however, all that being said and done, moving over to something like the 15-minute chart, let's say, you can see the most important thing to notice here is as the SPY, which obviously affects Tesla, or can, was making lower lows, the RSI making higher lows, right? So this is a bullish divergence, right? So this to me signifies that there is most likely potential upside. The RSI ended at a pretty decent spot here. You can see as well, making a little bit of a, you know, kind of peeking its head out, if you will, of the ground, which is great. So again, I would genuinely be surprised if there isn't a little bit of upside, probably just tomorrow, maybe Friday, but most likely tomorrow. The post market's already pretty green, so that kind of solidifies that a little bit, but I wouldn't put too much weight on this in all honesty. But yeah, so just based on that alone, you know, the fact that the RSI is suggesting short-term upside potential, this will just pretty much go ahead and make what I would personally believe to be a more or less bear flag. That's kind of what I expect this to more or less set up. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm seeing, ladies and gentlemen. On top of that, the daily on the what's it called, on the SPY, not looking that bad either, right? You know, beautiful little buying pressure over here. Because if we close under this line, then that's going to be pretty bearish, and that's pretty much almost signifying the fact that we're ready to make the next leg lower. And it was really close to doing it too. And then a lot of buying pressure came in near the end of the day, as you can see over here, right? A lot of green at the end of the day over here, which was a definite bear chart. This was without question right here. I promise you, a lot of bears got slaughtered. A lot of people probably loaded puts thinking we made a lower low, it's time to collapse. And then they just got absolutely slaughtered within the last, like, I don't know what this was, like maybe like 30 minutes or so of the market. I promise a lot of people got slaughtered there pretty hard, which is why I'm personally not making trades right now, other than I exited my one trade that I was in, and I'm waiting for a confirmation. So personally, what I'm waiting for is this, right? For the SPY at least, is if it comes over to around 400, I'll probably enter some puts. If it breaks under this level that I have here, the red line, I will wait for a retest, and then I'll enter puts, and then I will go ahead and write it down. That's essentially what I'm waiting for. But until I get some kind of confirmation of something, or at least until it gets to one of the levels I'm waiting for, I'm not really touching this market too much. And same thing applies with Tesla. I don't like buying puts on Tesla because Tesla's just I just don't like buying puts on Tesla. It never works out well for me. So if I want to buy puts, I just do it on SPY or QQQ. It's easier. Tesla's just, it's very, something about Tesla and buying puts is just weird. I just prefer selling options instead. Anyway, the point is the fact that for Tesla, if the SPY does happen to move to 400, which it feels like it wants to, in all honesty, or at least close to it, maybe like not 400, maybe like 397 to 400, somewhere in that range, that does tell me that Tesla most likely will also follow suit and probably come up to around this 312 area, probably make like a triple to maybe a quad top over here, probably get rejected. We'll see what happens, and then, you know, make its way down even further. Best case scenario, however, I actually don't think we'll go to 325. Best case scenario, I would say for tomorrow or Friday is about 319 to 320. And that would pretty much be this red line that we are kind of still in. And that's something else that is also very, very possible, right? So that, in my opinion, is the realistic best case scenario, about 320. But I personally think 312 might be enough for us to get rejected and then make our next leg down, which I think will be the truly painful one coming up. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm seeing, guys. Let me know what you think down below. We've been absolutely nailing every single move. I wish I played them with a lot more risk. I've been playing very safe because I don't want to get caught in what I personally believe to be a massive rug pull coming up very, very soon, and I just don't want to be caught in it. So I'm personally being patient and waiting for that opportunity to show itself, which I think it will. But, you know, I am still trading. I'm playing the downside. I'm playing the upsides just, you know, safely, I guess. It is what it is, but let me know what you guys think down below. If you enjoyed the video, of course, as usual, don't forget to hit that like button. It does help quite a bit. But yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Until then, thanks for watching. Peace.